Hello everybody, welcome to another Making Monday Lovable video. Today's video will be a little bit different, but actually not so much. I decided to call it Salvation or Heaven. I have to laugh a little bit because of the words that I'm using and the reason why I wanted to make such a video. And the reason is the following. I was recently asked by one of my teachers, what do you want, salvation or heaven? And just to make it clear, it was in a setting that is a little bit more spiritual, but at the same time it's very connected to life, and this is why I decided to share this with you, because my thoughts that sparked this type of question and how what I realized, I found them very interesting because I never thought about this question before. Heaven and hell, we know the concepts of it. I grew up being Catholic, not particularly liking the institution of church, but I do see the point of religion and believing, but that maybe goes too far now. And anyway, I was asked like salvation or heaven, and I didn't really want to either or it, because when I thought about the word salvation, I don't like it. I had to Google it and translate it into German, because I don't really use this word in my everyday language and my interactions with people. So it seems like it means something like a release of or from something, and in my mind it is something a little bit more negative, like I want to get rid of that, so I need salvation, and it's usually from someone else that is supposed to put salvation upon me, so I'm released of that. So I didn't particularly like that word, and in the end, heaven, I connected to something that is happening after my life. So when I'm dead, and to me, there's no point to think about this either. So my final refined answer, because I had one answer, and then I refined it again, and then my final answer that I actually refined, and I told my teacher, and I said, actually, what I want is I want to live and to be, basically to live my heaven on earth, here on that plane, on planet Earth, being a human, the Daria that I am. I want to live it as much as possible, as my heaven on earth. With all the hardships and all the challenges, I want to have them, and I want to live my life in that way. Then when I am supposed to die and maybe go to heaven, maybe go to hell, maybe go to another lifetime, whatever it is, that I, in the end of my life, actually do not need salvation or release from anything that I have lived on earth. And that fits to my aim since like years already. One of my aims is to not have regrets. No matter what, I just don't want to have regrets when I'm 97 or 100 years old, looking back at my life. So I want to have my life ending in the way that I don't need salvation from it, from nothing that I have done or that has happened. And I also don't want somebody to give me salvation over that. I want to be able to myself say like, okay, that's what it was. I'm still happy with it. I'm satisfied. I don't regret any of this. So I want to live my life as my heaven on earth, basically, without ever needing to have salvation. That was my final answer, and I told that to my teacher and to my other teacher as well, just for them to clarify, for them to see where I'm at. And the thing is, this also is a reason why I do what I do, why I decided to become a scientific illustrator, why I decided, no, I can't stay in science anymore. I don't want to stay in academia. I don't want to work in the lab anymore. I don't want to serve the scientific world in that way. I want to do something else that I'm truly fulfilled by, that I truly love. So I want to become a scientific illustrator and start my own company. There was no other way. There was nothing else that I wanted. That was only this. So I went straight into that. And 4 years later, I'm still here doing it and actually loving it and developing on the way, finding new ways to be, to create, to work with new people and do different things and explore myself and my, heaven on earth that I create, because I really enjoy everything on that path, the freedom that I have, the choices that I could take, even the struggles that come and the challenges that come. But to me, it is part of the heaven that I created for myself here on earth. I will never ever regret this decision, this step to, just try to become independent and actually manage to do so, manage to start a company, manage to just simply be able to decide when do I want to take vacation without having to ask anyone, deciding when I can work, on what I can work, and do that whenever I want, from wherever I want, with whoever I want. So to me, this is the ultimate freedom and the heaven on earth that I can have, actually. So, and I don't want to be, released from it. I don't want salvation from it. There is no point for me to ever want that, because if I would want that, that would mean I would live a life that I don't actually want, that I'm not happy with. And this is truly something where I think even this spiritual question or this spiritual word, salvation or heaven, some might be triggered by it, or some might think like, oh, woo-woo, what's that? She's a scientist. It's not like this, because it is very grounding. It's very real, and it is based in reality. At least to me, this is something that is based a lot in reality. I don't want to live my life to live for retirement where I finally don't have to work anymore. Oh my God, it has been awful. And I can live my life. I don't want to start living my life with 65 or 70. Depending which country you live, they are prolonging the time of retirement. If I want to, and I'm 70 or 75 and still feel like doing an illustration here and there, why not? So this is for me, I don't want to postpone anything. I want to be as present and as, in myself, in my body, in my wishes as much as possible in my life. And my work counts into that, because I also don't like the separation of work and life. What's that? Work is life and life is work. It's both. It's intertwined. You don't have a work life and a normal life. Your normal life includes your work life. And so I guess most of the time distinguishing this happens because one is not so happy in the work life. So it's a release from getting out of there and going into the weekend. For example, finally there's weekend. I don't want to live for 2 days of the week. There's no point for me. And if I want to work one of these weekend days, I will do that and take some other days off. So the thing is, the question is just to ask, like, what is your heaven on earth that you could imagine? This is what I want, and that's not what I want. And have you ever thought about salvation and heaven? Like, what if I would ask you, what would you choose, salvation or heaven? What would be your answer, and why would you answer in that way? What will be your reasoning? What will be your feeling? Because you could definitely say one or the other and be fine with it. I would never judge your decision for any one of those. I just thought it was funny for me to see how this question and these spiritual inclined words and that spiritual setting would be so much, grounded in reality, in real life that I have here as a human being on this planet Earth. I love this. So I have to say thank you, Shashi, for asking these questions in class. And yeah, that should be it for today. A little bit of a different video. I hope maybe it sparked some thoughts. Otherwise, I wish you a nice Monday and a great week ahead, and talk to you next week. Bye bye.